Turn on the lights, feel the beat. Pressing tails can't be beat. Join the crew, take your seat. Welcome to the wrestle heat. Now the first one, time to fly. Stories won't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. The smoke's always high.
Seeing what we saw, we watched Sami Zayn kick OTC dead in the face on purpose. Hey, I'm pissed. OTC's pissed. You should be pissed too. We can't trust this fool. We can't trust him.
I can't be trusted? I'm the one who can't be trusted?
Yeah, we can't.
Do I need to remind you of your track record for a second? Huh? Remember one thing, before it was me and Jay, before Roman, it was you and me. You were my dog, remember that? You were my brother. You're the one who brought me into this family first. Remember that? And then the second thing started to go bad with me and Roman. What happened? You kicked me in the face. And then when things got bad with you guys and Roman, what did you do? You kicked Roman in the face. And when Jay had an opportunity to do things on his own, you kicked Jay in the face. It was always you. We're gonna worry about my loyalty if I can be trusted? No, man. No.
What you think? I owe you an explanation? Huh? Is that what you think? Hey, listen, Oos, I'm not the bad guy here. You heard me?
Sami Uso. I'm very impressed with the Saudi Arabians' knowledge here of watching this show.
No,
Big fan.
you don't get it.
Yeah.
You might not believe this, Jimmy. I don't hate you, bro. I don't hate you. I never have. And you're not the bad guy. You're not a bad guy. But you make bad decisions. I came out at Crown Jewel for one person, for Jay. You understand? I want to make sure he was okay. But I'm not gonna lie. For a minute there, when it was you and me and Roman, the four of us fighting side by side in this ring, for a minute there, it felt like old times. Felt pretty damn special. For 1 minute, it felt pretty damn good. But that's how long it lasted, 1 minute. And then it all falls apart, just like it does every single time with the four of us. So I'm not doing this again, all right? I'm not having my loyalty questioned. I'm not being put on trial. I've already been put on trial by your family, and I'm not doing this again. Jay, I love you. I love you. I'm sorry. I can't do this again. I'm out.
All right. Let's stop it right there. Welcome everybody to the Malapert Smart Podcast. I will introduce Vlad and Robert after we review this angle from Raw, but we're in the middle of reviewing an angle. We just did a watch along of Sami Uso, Sami Zayn with Jimmy and Jay Uso. This is from Raw on November 4th, by the way, just to introduce the topic for our Malapert Smart Podcast listeners. And this was in Saudi Arabia, big Saudi Arabia show. I guess they had a first Raw in Saudi Arabia. They had Crown Jewel and that other pay-per-view. What was the other pay-per-view they have? The Saudi Arabian pay-per-view? There's two of them, right? I don't know. For some reason, it's...
Is there two?
I don't
know.
I thought there was a second one, but...
Oh my God.
It's all right.
I'm not sure.
It'll come to me. It'll come to me when I'm thinking about it. At least I know they had that Greatest Royal Rumble show over there, but there's another one that I'm thinking of. But forget it. At this point, it doesn't matter. Saudi Arabia got a WWE Raw. That was pretty cool for them, I guess. But all right, so Sami Zayn, he said he can't do this anymore. Too much drama last time. He wants to leave, and then. Right here, Jay Uso told Jimmy, he's like, you know what? He went back on what he said the week before when he said Sami's not family, but he's like, you know what? Sami is family. which was very heartwarming and touching to Sami Zayn. But he told Sami, "Hey, come on SmackDown and talk to Roman about this," because obviously Sami's a little sentimental about all this whole thing, and he seems like he's thinking about it. So he walked off, and that left us a little cliffhanger for SmackDown, which was this past Friday the 8th, which we'll get to in a minute. But I do got reviews, which we posted on our YouTube posts from Vlad and Robert. So let's see what our panel here gave this segment from Raw, or this angle on Raw. So Vlad and Robert, 2 thumbs up, both of you. Me as well, 2 thumbs up. So, all right, Vlad, welcome to the show. Thank you for being on today.
Great to be here. Very good to be here. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thanks for being on. We're talking about Raw. What do you think? You want to give any comments about this past Monday in Saudi Arabia? This segment before everything really happened on SmackDown. We had this one little segment, but 2 thumbs up from you. So you loved it. But anything you want to say about this before I move on to Robert?
Yeah, I mean, I've always, I've been. How do I want to word this? I want to say that the fact that this long-term booking that they've had with this Bloodline angle is tremendous. I feel like it could just keep on going and going. It might never end. They just might take breaks, but then try to bring this group together again at some point, every year or every 2 years, because it really is magic. I have to be honest. Like, these segments are really, really good. It's probably the highlight of both shows, to be honest. I know Roman wasn't in on the Raw episode because he's usually just on SmackDown, but this was, a great segment for Sami, I felt, specifically, where he just said, like, look, he explained himself very well. He was there for Jay. He doesn't want to be put on trial again and questioned by the rest of the Bloodline that he was an honorary member of, if I remember correctly, right? He wasn't a full-fledged member ever, but he was with them the whole time. Not the whole time, but you know what I mean. At least for a good amount of time. Anyways, so this was a really great segment. It was, I thought, interesting that they were in Saudi Arabia again. After Crown Jewel, I guess they just didn't have time to travel back to the States. I could make a joke. The Saudis had them hostage there for a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay. I won't go there.
Yeah,
it's happened before. I don't know.
Held them hostage for a lot of money, though. I don't mind being held hostage for that much money.
I'm sure they paid them another, probably not $50 million, but they paid them something for this Raw episode as well. But anyways, this is a good segment. I don't really want to completely analyze it because there's more to come on the SmackDown. But this was good.
Yes. No, yeah, definitely, Vlad. Thank you. Robert, let me move on to you. Whatever you want to say about this before we move on to the really meaty stuff on SmackDown, which we'll talk about right after this.
This is really, really good. This whole segment had me feeling oozy. Yeah, I mean, it was around this time 2 years ago when I think Sami Zayn was, at least trying to become part of the Bloodline. I remember when he officially became an honorary Uce, but like the angle at least started right around 2 years ago this time where he was trying to join them. So at that time, like I remember I already liked the Bloodline saga before he joined, but his arrival, as becoming part of this saga made things a lot more interesting. And I would have never guessed that, at that time, I would have never guessed that 2 years from now, this Bloodline saga not only would still be going on, but still be actually very relevant. It's incredible how long this has lasted and how it remains relevant to this day. Like that, it's crazy. This is really good long-term storytelling. So, props to them. And then, for these segments, a lot of these promos, like I'm never going to compare the writing of this to like Breaking Bad or anything like that. But when kind of comparing it to, wrestling segments in general, this was very good writing. I thought it was brilliant. So, and there is more to come. So I'll have more to say for the SmackDown segment.
Yeah, for this one on Raw, I guess I'll point out they gave us a little clue that Sami was like, he felt sentimental, that felt good being out there with the guys. So that kind of gave us a little hint in what direction they're going to be going. And also Jimmy Uso. I like, ever since Jimmy Uso like did that thing when he turned on Jay and he just became this crazy guy or something. So he did a couple of his crazy faces that I thought was really, really funny. I don't know.
You mean that one?
That one?
Yeah, I like anything Jimmy Uso, honestly, for some reason. But okay, let me move on. SmackDown. So we're going on to November 8th. Let me pull that up right here. All right, so we're in the ring already. Roman's in there with Jimmy and Jay, for those of you who are not being able to watch with us on YouTube. But they do call Sami out. So the point was, Jay wanted Roman to listen to Sami Zayn, right? And this Sami Zayn just came straight out with it. He was like, he made it pretty easy for Roman. I'm not going to say verbatim what he said, but he was like, basically, yeah, it felt sentimental, and he put it in Roman's court. He's like, if you want me to fight alongside you guys, I will. And if you don't, I'll leave. But he said, you know what? I don't think you feel indifferent about me. He was like, what did he say? The line was, if the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. Yeah, and he said, I don't think you're just indifferent about me. And he was like, I think.
But he did want an apology. He did want an apology.
Yes. He said, I still think you like me. And then he said he thought Roman was cracking a smile here. Right?
He said, he said, I think you love me.
Yeah. Well, according to our Malapert Smart rating system, the opposite of love is made me sick, but indifferent is somewhere in the middle.
Indifferent is in the middle, yeah.
But okay, according to Sami Zayn, he still thinks Roman loves him. So all that was, I don't know, I think they went pretty straightforward with that. I thought they would beat around the bush a little more to get all these guys together. But okay, so he wanted an apology. This was the face he made when he wanted an apology. And it wasn't to him, it was to Jay. He's like, apologize to Jay. And Roman actually did for a moment, but he swerved us, right? For a second, the crowd thought he apologized. He said, I'm sorry. And then he said, I'm sorry that I ever let you guys waste my time with this guy, which was pretty goddamn harsh. And then he turned to the camera and he's like, Solo, get your ass out here. And then Sammy's like, all right, well, cool. He doesn't want me here, so I'm leaving. And that was that for the moment. And then on the big screen, Jacob Fatu comes on the screen. And he says, I love you, Solo. No, he didn't say that. He said...
he probably did later in the night if he didn't in that segment.
Yeah, he said something to that effect. He said something about, Solo's a real tribal chief and you will acknowledge him later on because, right, there's going to be an acknowledgement ceremony or something. Supposedly the main event segment. So anyways, they go to the back. Jay's like, what the hell? And Roman disrespects him. He's like, you go hang out with Sami if you want to. And then Jay's like, hey, I told you if you disrespect me, right? I already told you I'm leaving. And he's like, that's the one warning. That's your one free pass, right? So Roman, I don't know what the hell Roman's problem is. Why doesn't he want Sami to fight with him? They obviously need a fourth guy to even the odds. So it's a little weird to me. I don't know what the hell he has against Sami Zayn. I mean, I guess Sami Zayn did turn on him, but man, he treated him like shit. He treated everyone like shit. So, but anyways, I'm diverging from the point. But yes, Jay got offended, and even Jimmy was like, "Damn, Roman, what the fuck," And Roman told him too, "Well, you get the hell out of here too. Then go hang out with them." So that's how SmackDown started, and then they just showed Roman kind of brooding in his room, waiting for the acknowledgement ceremony. So that's when the end of the night. Solo comes out representing the Bloodline, baby. Solo. But he comes out and he's like, Roman comes out and supposedly he wants him to acknowledge him. But Roman instead comes with a challenge for a match, right? So that's interesting. He's like, let's have a match. and the winner's going to be the tribal chief. And Solo laughs. He's like, nah, I'm not going to do that, but we can fight at War Games. And he said, let's make it 5-on-5 because basically Sami's our fifth guy. So I guess somewhere in between everything that they didn't show, I guess Sami and Solo talked backstage or something, right? So supposedly Solo thought Sami was going to be on their side. And here's when Sami comes out a little later, and they're beating Roman's ass, right? So the Usos come out, the Uso brothers come out, and I think the Bloodline basically, it's 4-on-3, so they beat them all up, and they have Roman like ready to go, ready to put the Samoan spike on him, and Solo invites Sami into the ring, and this is where like the moment of truth happens because he wants Sami to help him haluva kick Roman, and then that's when Sami made his decision. Despite what Roman said to him earlier, he haluva kicked Solo instead, and that's when, you know, the tide turned. And after that, I think basically the old bloodline cleared house of the new bloodlines. Roman put a Samoan punch on Solo, and Roman looked at Sami all, you know, dramatic, and he had his back. Sami had his back, and so the Usos come in and they put up the ones, and then there's this dramatic moment where, you know, Sami's like, come on, just freaking do it. Just put up the one, Roman. And then, like in Robert's background on his Zoom meeting background, yep, we got the original 4 members of the Bloodline back together without Paul Heyman, but it is most of the original group. So there
Paul
you
Heyman's
go.
coming.
War Games
Sooner than later.
basically has been set up. All right, so I'm on topic number 2, so I'm going to try to give you guys a time limit, but, you know, it's just a loose time limit. Just a minute and 30 seconds is what we do for the first 5 topics. And if you want to go over, you can, or whatever you want to say. So let me first do the reviews on this. So check out our reviews on our YouTube post. We've already submitted reviews. And let's see what we got here. Robert with the 2 thumbs up. Robert loved this. Me also with the 2 thumbs up. I'm digging this. This is really good. Vlad, a thumbs up today. So didn't go all the way with it. Just a regular old thumbs up. So I'll get Vlad's comment second. I'll start with Robert this time. Robert, 1 minute and 30 seconds. Smackdown, baby.
Oh, yes. This was awesome. So, yes, another Bloodline segment that I really, really love. They're really on a roll right now with how good these segments are playing out. It was pretty much predictable. I did see this eventually happening. The only thing that surprised me about them finally reuniting was how fast it all happened.
Yes.
It's like
Good point.
The pacing of it is faster than I expected. I knew they would reunite eventually, but just not this quickly. Usually in wrestling programs, they tend to drag out these angles to just, you know, the pacing of it tends to be slower. Like they just drag things out. That's typically how they work. This is
I also felt the same way.
Yeah, this is faster than I expected, but the result was not a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about that, Robert. I think maybe they want more time before Survivor Series to actually have a feud between these 4 or these 8 or something like that. You know, maybe they didn't want to just put them all together right at the end before the match. That's the only thing I can think of.
They have to bring Paul Heyman back at some point before Survivor Series. Just how they reintroduce him, I'm not sure. But,
I mean, this could have been a possibility to introduce Heyman by saying, hey, he had to advise Roman, you got to take Sami back, you know, because we need him. We need to even the odds. I don't know. I guess that was a possibility. But nonetheless, Sami's back in the bloodline, it seems. Vlad, thumbs up today. So I guess you had an issue with it maybe or something. So let's hear it.
Well, a couple. No, I wouldn't say I had like a major issue. I obviously enjoyed the segment very much. The only thing that was, I think I mentioned in the review, you know, in my comments, you know, Solo, I don't understand here because he was like, oh, our fifth member is Sami. But I'm like, dude, were you not at Crown Jewel? Did you not see that he's not with you guys? He's not with you guys. He's already made that clear. So I didn't understand that. Like, what had happened during SmackDown that would make him think that Sami was going to be their fifth guy? I'm like, okay, that really doesn't make any sense. It made him look dumb at the end when Sami kicked their ass and they in the original Bloodline held court type of thing. But there was also a couple other issues. To start the segment, basically Roman brushed off any Sami being united with them at all. So, and nothing had really happened in that segment either to prevent to show that they were going to be a united group at the end of the show. And it was actually Sami a couple of weeks back on Raw that was telling Jay that he didn't need to be involved and you don't have to go into it. But he's like the first one that wants to be involved. He's like, yeah, it's all great. The four of us together. It's kind of funny.
That's true. That's true.
That
was a turnaround. That was a 180.
He was a really fast turnaround. So, I mean, I think the writing is still very good, and I think some of these segments are still tremendous, but some of it is not really, I don't know, like the logic isn't always 100%. Like, it's still better than anything else going on in wrestling, but, I wish it was a little bit more crisp and a little bit more tighter. I mean, type of deal, but overall, obviously this is a very enjoyable segment. The crowd was going crazy. These are four guys. All four guys are pretty much over, I would say. And it's going to be, it could be an interesting match. I would assume that, I'm just going to guess that the original Bloodline should be victorious at Survivor Series, but we'll see. A lot of things could happen from now to Survivor Series. But anyways, yeah, good segment.
Yeah, I think I can make a little sense out of Sami joining this team because he's doing it mostly.
Yes, I can too.
To help Jay. Jay's his friend. Jay has remained his friend on Raw. So, he wants to be in on it with Jay. And the fact that Roman doesn't want him to be there, it's too bad. You know what I mean? He has to be there at this point. Like Jay says, he's as close to family as they have. You know what I mean? So they announced this Survivor Series match or what? Is it for the tribal chiefdom or no? Does anybody know anything about this?
Well, I believe they announced the match, if I remember correctly, but I don't remember if they said anything about the tribal chiefdom being on the line.
When did they announce this match?
I didn't hear an announcement.
I kind of heard that there somehow for some reason this match is set, but I don't know why. But okay.
Yeah, like I think it's gonna happen, but I'm looking right now, I guess, but I'm pretty sure.
It's all right. All right. Well, I'll move along then. I got more topics to do. We're 23 minutes into the show. I do got 9 topics, so we spent a lot of time on the first 2. But let me move on. So I'm gonna stay. You can look that up if you want, Vlad.
Yeah. I mean, the match is set.
I mean, I watched SmackDown. I don't know where they would have announced it, but okay, maybe it was on social media or something. I have no idea. But I did gather that the match is set. So War Games, baby. All right, that's gonna be cool. But I'm gonna move on to something else that was on SmackDown. DIY, we're talking in the back, but that's not what I'm talking about, Vlad. Don't worry. I know you get nervous.
I know. I nearly had a heart attack. I talk about anything you want to talk about. Yeah, this would be a surprise.
Well, then let's talk about DIY then, baby. Tommaso Ciampa. No, I mean, for once he actually showed some fire, but their segment ended, and they just cut to Randy Orton, who was angrily walking to the ring. So he's marching to the ring, and they hit his music. He doesn't even need to ask. He's like, I'm going to the ring, and they hit his damn music. So he goes in there, and he asks, because Kevin Owens and him had a crazy fight at Crown Jewel, right? They were supposed to have a match, but instead it just turned into like a hardcore, beating that Kevin Owens ended up putting on. Well, Kevin Owens sucker punched him, right? I think from behind to start the match. I think that's what Randy Orton was really mad about. So he comes out and he calls out KO. KO's got that T-shirt on saying that he's in the right, which is kind of funny. It matches his personality. But all right, so Orton rips his shirt off and he's like, "Come on, baby!" And Kevin doesn't want to at first, but eventually he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go down there." And they start brawling. Right, here's a picture of them brawling for the people on YouTube. But what happens? So the security and the referees come out and everything.
Gives him a low blow, right?
And he gives him, I don't know if it was a low blow, but it was some kind of kick to the gut area. But yeah,
No,
basically, I can't,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell, maybe. But then he gives him the most devastating move in all of wrestling, circa 1980, a pile driver. So it gives him a fake looking pile driver. His head didn't even go anywhere near the ground. You know what I mean? But okay, so they did a hospitalization angle here with this. Vlad, I guess technically the pile driver is a banned move in WWE.
No,
Yeah,
it's the way he did it. He landed on Kevin Owens landed on his butt. No, the way Owen Hart did. You're not supposed to do that anymore, I guess.
Yeah, you could do it. You could do it on your knees, I guess.
On your knees, yeah.
So that form of the pile driver is banned, or just the pile driver is banned?
No,
Well, you could do a tombstone pile driver.
the way Kevin Owens did the pile driver.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That was going to be something I questioned, but okay, go ahead, guys.
I did hear the commentators say that's a banned move now, so they
Yes.
did explain that a little later on, but it wasn't
Sort
in
of.
a match.
No, I've
So
never
it
heard
was
that
just-
before, though. But yeah,
I think I've heard that, but I don't know. I don't see too many pile drivers.
I mean, historically, yes, I've heard that the pile driver is banned throughout, like wrestling, every time there's some sort of injury angle type of deal, or even in reality sometimes, because it is a dangerous move. Let's be honest, it is kind of a dangerous move. But, anyways, yes, I'll let Cam continue.
All right, so while Vlad was talking to the audio people, I was showing slides of the EMTs coming out. They were ready to go. I don't know if WWE bought their own ambulance or something. They didn't have just an ambulance ready in the back all the time. But okay, so they come in, they do the spot where they put them on a gurney and take them off. You know, must feel ridiculous when you're not really injured to like get taken into an ambulance. But okay, so they load them into an ambulance, and that's that. All right, so that's the angle today. Vlad, well, let's get the reviews first. Hold on. So, what do we got? Vlad and Robert, thumbs up. Both liked it. I gave this 2 thumbs up. I loved it. I think this is good shit. Okay.
No, it is.
But okay, Vlad, 90 seconds on the clock. Whatever you want to say about this angle from SmackDown.
Well, I mean, the only reason I probably didn't give it 2 thumbs up is my questions on the whole pile driver thing and how it didn't really look that great as a pile driver, as a move that should cripple somebody like that he should be out, like that he should be wheeled out, and everything that Randy Orton has been through in his career, he has taken way worse moves and not been like nearly paralyzed, whatever they were trying to hint at here. I mean, as far as the feud that they're having, tremendous. I enjoy it. Kevin Owens' personality is kind of an annoying piece of shit, so it kind of fits that. It fits that the feud. And Randy Orton is really good at what he does as well. So obviously, I'm enjoying the feud. I'm enjoying the rivalry. The fact that they're obviously Kevin Owens just had the upper hand in it, but you would think that could probably mean that Randy Orton is going to go over. But we don't. Again, it's just my prediction. I don't know. But the only reason I didn't give it 2 thumbs up is, again, the pile driver didn't really look that great, and I don't know if that warranted a hospitalization angle being wheeled to an ambulance and all that stuff. But obviously, I'm enjoying the feud. These are 2 top guys. Whatever my feelings are on Kevin Owens, I do consider him a top guy in wrestling still. So, what did Robert say something? Oh,
Yeah, we
lost Robert.
We lost Robert, but it's okay. We'll wait
Okay,
for
but
him.
anyways, but no problem. But bottom line, good segment. This is a good feud. But I don't think I didn't want to give it 2 thumbs up.
You missed what Vlad said. He was basically just saying that the pile driver didn't look realistic and it wasn't really worth a hospitalization angle. So that's why he only gave it a thumbs up. But okay, so you gave it
Also one
you
thumbs up.
also only gave it a thumbs up. So all right. So anything you want to say about the Kevin Owens and Randy Orton and their feud, whatever.
Yeah. So, I'll first start off by saying that's probably the fastest ring entrance from Randy Orton that I've ever seen. I mean,
Oh yeah, he usually
by-
looks it.
by his standards, that was essentially a sprint. I'm like, man, he's
Yeah,
moved really.
why didn't he high five people on the way to the ring?
I know, right? I was like, wow.
Why didn't he pull a Jeff Hardy?
Yeah, he might as well, right? I'm like,
Start
wow. So all these years, these ridiculously slow entrance walks, like he could have just he had it in him to walk it a little faster. Okay, anyways, all jokes aside, so I like the angle, so that's where my one thumb up is coming from. But I also have an issue with the pile driver. It's just I get that it's a dangerous move when not, landing on your knees when executing the pile driver, right? Like the tombstone version. I get that it's dangerous, right? Considering what happened with Stone Cold when Owen Hart did that same pile driver. But couple things, all right. The way that Kevin Owens executed it, it was very safe. It did not look like it should have injured.
It was too safe.
Yeah, it was executed very safely. And what's funny is I think Michael Cole even said, and in the commentary he said, "Oh, do we really need to see this again?" When they were showing the replay, right? And when they did show the replay, I'm like, "You're right, Michael Cole. They shouldn't have shown it again because it did not look good."
Or they should have just showed it up to like this point and then say, right. "Oh no, we can't show you the rest." It's too
exactly.
gruesome.
Yeah, exactly. So the irony of Michael Cole's statement is kind of funny, actually. So all right. So number one, it was executed safely by Kevin Owens.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, of course. And number two, we've seen a lot of people, maybe not from WWE, but we've seen this version of the pile driver be done in other promotions many times, and the person taking that pile driver doesn't get hospitalized or taken to the ambulance. So it's just, it's not very consistent with how it affects other wrestlers and other promotions when that same move is being done. So I don't know, it's not very. I don't think this was a good way to send him to the ambulance. They could have done like something else. Kevin Owens could have injured him another way.
Yeah.
That's my only gripe with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess I would disagree with you on that because I think in the WWE universe, like, they don't go around doing this type of thing all the time. Like, you're right. If you take account at AEW and indies and stuff, yeah, of course this is nothing. But in the WWE universe, they kind of they ignore all the rest of the wrestling world, and they're like, you know what? To us, this is kind of a crazy spot. So, I'll take it. I don't know. What can I say? I still like it. I know it didn't look great. It would have, but what I don't want them to do a more dangerous looking pile driver.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. Of course, but
it's wrestling, bro. It's fake.
I think Robert has. Well, sure, but Robert has a point. That, like, they could have done another. If they wanted to do an injury angle where he's injured, they could have done something else where it looked a little bit better. Like the stuff that he did at Crown Jewel, obviously was
the elbow drop
from the top was a lot more, obviously looked a lot more damaging than the pile driver. But I get it. It is what it is. But yeah.
All right. Well, let me move on. I'm gonna move on to AEW Dynamite, baby. I know.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to talk about this. I don't know what the topics are, but I can't wait to talk about them.
Well, look, this is going to be the only watch-along we do because I know Robert didn't really watch Dynamite, so maybe this is going to be the first segment that he actually seen. So I'm going to put this in watch-along mode, so for you guys who are new to our podcast.
Oh my God. This is the one we're watching. Oh,
I have to break this down in detail. All right. So for those of you who are new to our podcast, when we watch along on YouTube, we can't play it really in full screen because it'll get clipped by copyright. So I put it a little smaller in the corner, and then you can do this thing on the phone or on the computer where you zoom out, and if you really want to watch along, zoom into the little video in the corner and put your video in 1080p HD, and it'll look clear enough to watch with us. So, all right, Robert, you didn't watch Dynamite. You skipped it this week. You didn't have time or whatever. I know there's a lot of wrestling, so it's okay. Right. But I want to play this scene. It has to do with Chris Statlander, Mercedes Moné, and Kamille. So it's an interview backstage. Renee Paquette is interviewing Statlander on the subject of facing Kamille. And then she's going to be done with the interview and walk away and get run over by a car. So here we go.
What?
For TBS Championship. How does it feel to possibly have that title around your waist again?
Well, Monet can't change the fact that I'm going to be the new TBS champion.
Well, good luck. Guys, Full Gear, November 23rd at the Prudential Center in New Jersey.
By the way, I'm just gonna let this run the first time, and then I'll describe it again a little slower. So it's gonna sound a little. If you're not watching the video or podcast, it's just gonna sound like a bunch of noise. But I'll explain what happened afterwards.
Could we possibly see... Whoa! Help! We need some help!
This looks
Are you
ridiculous.
stupid or are you dumb? Go out and get her. You can't do anything right. Get her. Idiot. No! You want to hit me with your car? You want to hit me with the car? You son of
So their security comes in. All right, I gotta slow this down and explain some of this for the people who are watching on audio podcasts. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so some people just listen. If you need to save on data, it's a great thing to do. But okay, so what had happened was after the interview finished with Renee, they didn't show it, okay?
In New Jersey, could we possibly see...
You just hear a noise, so she screams, and then we cut to the other side. So I guess she did hit her, so she seems to have flown a bit of a ways according to the angle. All right?
No, I don't think so. She said she missed her. She in the car.
She missed her. Oh, okay. So she
She flew
tried
out the way.
She tried to hit her. Okay, they didn't show it though, so whatever. She's just on the floor. So then they cut to Mercedes and Kamille in the car, and Mercedes is saying, "Are you stupid?" So she was supposed to hit her. That was the plan originally, right, Vlad? Okay.
You're asking me?
Yeah, we got. This is a historical scene that we have to analyze in detail.
Historical.
Well, they try to run over Chris Statlander in the
I'd
back.
say hysterical. I don't know about historical.
Yeah, exactly, Robert. Me and you are thinking exactly the same, I think, on this.
Okay, so then Mercedes says, "All right, go out and get her, Kamille. You fucked up. Just go out and get her." So Kamille goes out and get her, and then right on this side, Statlander comes on this side and grabs Mercedes and pulls her out of the car, and is strangling her. You know, and Mercedes has her two belts, like she doesn't let go of her two belts, which is pretty funny to me. Like she loves those two belts, you know. And then Kamille comes from the side, pulls Mercedes off her, puts her on the floor gently, and then Statlander grabs Kamille, and basically the scream you heard, for anyone who was listening, was Kamille getting her arm smashed in the door by Statlander. So Kamille, who has already been buried and lost to Statlander last week, right? And so she was made to look strong at first, but at this point she's just both of them got their ass kicked, and then Mercedes goes, "You son of a bitch," and swings at the belt at Mercedes, who then uranagis her onto the car hood, and then Mercedes and Kamille are just left. So their whole plan to run Statlander over, it ended up with them getting left laying, and security came and pulled Statlander off of them. So there you go. 1 minute and I think it was only like a minute and 32 seconds. This whole angle on Dynamite. Let's see what reviews Vlad gave this. Only me and Vlad reviewed this because Robert didn't have time to watch Dynamite. Plus he heard it maybe wasn't a strong show based on the ratings. But okay, so Vlad gave this a thumbs down. Vlad didn't like it. I gave it a thumbs up. I liked it. But okay, let's start with Vlad. Vlad, 1 minute and 30 seconds. What do you want to analyze this scene for us?
Well, I think Kahan, the thing with me and Kahan is Kahan was telling me the other day, you know what? I don't know if he was drunk or what, or stoned. I kind of like Tony Khan's booking. Lately I've been digging Tony Khan's booking. Like that. I'm like the shows are in the worst they've ever been.
Not on Dynamite. More on like Rampage and Ring of Honor.
Oh, the shows no one's watching. The shows no one even. I see. No, but okay, this was obviously hilarious. Like Robert said, it was supposed to be a hit and run angle type of deal that they've done in wrestling in the past, and it turned into I don't even know. God knows what this was. They didn't show anybody getting hit. She was supposedly moved out the way. The car was going maybe 2 miles per hour. No more than that. So I don't understand how it could have hit anybody and how she was planning to hit her. I mean, and what a mess. And then
and the part where she sent her out to pick up Statlander, but like Statlander was already up and getting ready to beat Mercedes on.
Yeah, she basically. So it turned into where they were supposed to leave her laying with the car. And she left them laying. Angle, man. What is happening in this feud? What is happening in this angle? It's like I don't even understand it. This was all off. The whole psychology of this whole thing was off.
All right.
But
well, listen. For some reason, my clock stopped. You probably have hit the 90 seconds. But if you have more to say, otherwise, I know Robert didn't actually see this live, but you could give us comments based on what you saw right now.
I've said it all. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, go ahead, Robert. Let's hear what you have to say about this. I'm interested. First time viewing.
It's hilarious.
What was it good or not? If you're gonna give it a rating on our rating system, what do you think? What do you think you give? Because that was the whole angle for the whole day.
That was the whole angle?
Yeah. Did you like it or did you not? Did you think it was cheesy and bad, or did you like it, or did you like that it was? I kind of liked that it was cheesy and bad.
It was cheesy, but it made me laugh. So I don't know, maybe a half thumbs up. I'm not sure.
I like the part right here when Mercedes like tries to clock her with the belt and she goes, "You son of a bitch." Listen, hold on. I'm gonna play one little bit extra of it. And then she misses her. She goes, "You son of a bitch," and then she wildly swings and misses, and then gets Uranagi'd onto the car hood. But what were you gonna say, Vlad?
I was just gonna say. So I think I'm trying to understand you guys here a little bit. So you guys like? I understand Kahan likes silly wrestling, but I think he even likes bad wrestling. I think that's actually his favorite. I'm starting to understand his mindset. But what I'm failing to understand is this was not supposed. I don't think this was intentionally supposed to be a silly and funny segment. It just ended up being that way because of the awfulness of the AEW as a whole. So in that case, I don't see how you could like it. You know, like anything like stuff that is supposed to be funny and end up being funny, and stuff that like that. But stuff that's supposed to be serious and not even unintentionally funny.
There is some comedy here. There's some comedy about her yelling at Kamille.
Do you think it's supposed to be?
Her and Kamille, funny? Yes. The way she's acting like a total bitch and bossing Kamille around, I think that's supposed to be funny. Yes. And I think the part about her holding her belts up no matter what, like she's always got, she's not going to let go of her belts even when she's under attack. I think that was funny. And what else? Well, I also like that they just tried something here. I'm giving them credit just for trying something. So I didn't give it two thumbs up. I gave it a thumbs up. I liked it. And
well, how about this? Try harder. Try harder then. If this is the best you got, then try harder is my advice. They
did seem like they kind of rushed it. I think the shot that when Mercedes tried to take a swing,
the thing is, it's pre-taped.
That looked totally bad.
Well, the thing is, this is pre-taped, right? So they could have done it a number of different times, and somebody looked at this and said, "We got the shot. This is the angle. We got it." Incredible.
That would have been me if I was the producer. I'd be like, "All right, guys, that's a wrap. Good job, Mercedes. Thank you so much, Mercedes. Is there anything we can get you?"
Water, please. Get her water with lemon in it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna move on from that. That's enough of that. All right, I got a few more topics, but let's stick with Dynamite. All right, topic number 5 in our top 5 topics. So the Hurt Syndicate makes our top 5 topics. So this was one thing that Vlad actually liked. I think it might have been your only thumbs up. You guys could go to our review posts on our community tab, or the link. I'll put a link in the description also of this video. But yes, we reviewed Dynamite already. Vlad gave it pretty low ratings. It was on up against NXT on a Wednesday. So it lost in the ratings to NXT. That's embarrassing, right? To lose on your own time slot.
So
When
the
you moved-
development for film.
Yeah, when you move time slots and you lose in the ratings, it's understandable. Everyone's like, "Oh, well, nobody knew you were there," but they were in their own time slot, and everyone chose to watch NXT instead, who was doing a
Or at least
special
more,
show.
or there at least more people wanted to see it at the very least. Yeah.
Yes, and they were at the ECW arena. NXT was. So me and Robert
the
reviewed
old
that.
ECW arena.
We'll talk about that some of the angles from that in a little bit, but but for right now. The one angle that Vlad gave a thumbs up to on our review post is the Hurt Syndicate segment. Short segment, not too long. It only consisted of like maybe 8 minutes of the show. And I'm not going to give a full-on summary, but I'll just give a few pictures of what happened. And there was the three guys, MVP, Benjamin, and Lashley come into the ring. And basically what MVP was saying that if I gave you one of my business cards, that's the golden ticket to success, to joining the Hurt Syndicate. And he showed a video of last week, is like, this is what happens if you reject it. Like, if you don't want to join us, then it'll happen to you like what happened to Swerve last week when we beat his ass. But okay, Swerve Strickland's music hits, and he comes out all pissed off, right? Referees are trying to hold him back. They don't want this to happen now. This is a money match. Wait till the pay-per-view, right? But the three guys in the ring are like, bring it on. Right? You know, come on. We're three big ass guys and you're one little Swerve. What are you gonna do? But yeah,
exactly right. Continue.
Prince Nana was with Swerve. He looked pissed off, but he still had his coffee that he's trying to sell. So always a capitalist, you know. You gotta make money in this world. If you don't make money, you got nothing. But anyways, so basically Swerve, I think all he said was, in a really pissed off, angry voice, full gear. Let's do this at full gear. Me and you, Lashley. So, all right. What were some ratings on this? Let me see. Let me pull up our Malapert Smart rating system for you guys who are unfamiliar. Yeah, so I already mentioned Vlad thumbs up. Me also thumbs up. So Robert didn't watch the show, so he doesn't have a rating. But I'll give time to Vlad to talk about this angle. Not much on this day. If you want to also give thoughts about Swerve and Lashley having a match at Full Gear and what you think of that, or what you think they could do, whatever thoughts you have, the people want to hear it. Vlad, you go ahead.
Well, my thumbs up is because I think this group looks great. The Hurt Syndicate, obviously, the Hurt Business in WWE, they're just three big. Even their manager MVP, who's obviously a former wrestler, is a big dude. So they just look like a legit group. You know, this is the group that they should be doing the invasion angle, honestly, because they're all former 3 WWE guys, and actually this would make more sense than AEW original guys doing the invasion angle makes no sense. These guys doing the invasion angle actually makes sense.
I was gonna say this kind of has hurt the other angle. When I've seen comments on the other angle, they're like, man, yeah, now that these guys are in town, the other group doesn't seem as menacing.
How could they look menacing when these guys look menacing? You know, 3 really fit guys. Bobby Lashley is a beast. We know that. Shelton Benjamin has always looked tremendous no matter how old he is. I read that he's close to 50 years old or something. Or both of them,
he does
right?
not look it. Okay.
I mean, it's incredible.
I saw a picture today of Charlie Haas and Kurt Angle, how they look today, and then Shelton Benjamin was in that picture, but he's like the only one who hasn't aged out of the 3. So
exactly right.
Well, what did you think of Lashley and Swerve? What are they supposed to do with that? Let's go.
I mean, yeah, it's a big match at the pay-per-view.
Who wins? What do they do? How are they supposed to win?
I think Lashley should win, probably with some form of cheating. It's his first match in AEW. I think he should go.
Knowing AEW, they'll just fucking beat him flat. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I mean, if they beat Lashley,
they'll beat Swerve flat, I guess, is what I'm saying. But.
Well, that would be weird since they just paid Swerve an extension and a lot of money to stay in the company. I don't think they're trying to job them out. So I don't.
Dude. There's a lot of flat losses in AEW. They, for some reason, they think they can, somehow make logic out of it. But
real quick, and yes, you're right on all that. And I don't know what the hell they're going to do, but I would think Lashley is going to win. But I just want to say the part that pissed me off a little bit is that this was only a 7-minute, 8-minute angle or whatever part of the show, when there was so much crap, so much stupidity on the show. They couldn't give this more time. They couldn't just make it a 15-minute angle, something else going on. I don't know. I mean, it's just...
it was a very small part of the show. You liked it, but it was a very small part of the show.
I wish there was more of it, because this is the only thing currently that I'm digging in AEW is these three guys. So, yeah.
All right, well, Robert, I know you didn't watch it, but if you have any thoughts about what they should do with the booking between Lashley and Swerve, I don't know. I'm a little confused by this. I'm like, okay, they're going to have the match. Sounds great, but what are you supposed to do with that? I don't know.
Lashley has to win.
I think
what else can
Lashley
you do?
wins, but I don't see him winning clean, though.
I don't think he should.
But he should get the victory.
For sure.
All right, well, if you don't have any other comments on this, I'm going to move along to our last AEW angle for the night. Also from Dynamite, the aforementioned Moxley stable, who has been causing havoc and, disruption, if you will. But this is the first time they came on with their new theme song and the new stable name, Death Riders. John Moxley. These are the Death Riders, these guys.
These guys. Have you ever seen any more frightening guys than these guys?
Well, all right. The angle today was not so stacked or hot. It was a trios. It was a tag team match. It was Pac and Claudio against Orange Cassidy, the man,
and Darby,
the toughest guy in wrestling. Yes, Vlad, you ruined my surprise. And Darby Allin, who came flying off the top of the entrance, whatever you call that, the entrance circle. But he was hiding up there, and he dove onto the, I want to say Blackpool Combat Club, but Death Rider guys. Okay, the Death Rider guys. But all right, so this match got thrown out when it looked like Orange Cassidy was gonna hit the orange punch on Pac. Marina Shafir of Death Riders came out, and she just basically kicked the referee, basically, and that was the end. I don't know what the official result was. Am I
no contest, right?
I put no contest on mine. I don't know if you call that a disqualification. I think that's a DQ, but
it's got to be a DQ. Yeah.
The match ended, and basically they were gonna beat everybody down like they usually do, but I think the conglomeration, Mark Briscoe and Kyle O'Reilly and Tomohiro or Rocky Romero. I don't know if Ishii was there, but looks like Romero. But okay, so then they run them off on this night. So let me mention one more thing before we give our overall thoughts on what's going on in this program, because we did mention with Lashley in town that it seems like it's put a damper on this, but both of us gave this an indifference, so neither me or Vlad could bring ourselves to give any type of good rating to this. On Dynamite, we both gave it a 0 on the Malapert Smart rating system. But I will mention one more thing, Vlad, before I get some thoughts about this, is that the angle obviously continued on Collision. So yesterday, which was the 9th, the Death Riders were there to defend their trios title, which I thought this segment was actually better than the Dynamite one. I actually would have given this one maybe a half thumbs up when they defended the trios title against the conglomeration, Robert. So this was an actual match for the title. A lot of pressure on this team, on this stable, Death Riders, to hold on to these titles. It looked like in doubt a little bit, but basically what had happened was I think Marina Shafir again came in and she interfered and hit Kyle O'Reilly with the suitcase that has the world title belt, and then Wheeler Yuta with the Bisaiko knee. And then, so they retained, and the interesting, there was a brawl and all that, but the interesting thing, because me and Vlad were at my house for his birthday yesterday, was Vlad's birthday weekend. So we did watch this. But at the end, when the show was going off the air, they said an interesting thing. They gave an advertisement for this Wednesday's Dynamite, where it says Moxley seizes the Superstation. So Moxley's going to seize the channel, I guess. On Wednesday is what's supposed to happen.
That's my thought as well, Robert.
Yeah. All right.
Why would they announce that as a thing that's going to happen?
All right. Well, Robert, I did some of Dynamite, I did some of Collision, but I'll start with Vlad before I get comments from you since he watched it already. Anything you want to say so far about what's going on here? I guess anything I mentioned, anything that comes to your mind, go ahead, man. The floor is yours. Yes.
Painful. It's like I have a toothache. It's hard to talk about. Look, Death Riders. Let's start there. I think we got
You don't like the name?
The name. It makes you think of a motorcycle.
It's so
gang.
John Moxley, man. It's
It
very
makes you think of a
John
motorcycle gang, right? These guys ride in the back of a pickup truck. This is all they do. They're not riders of anything. None of them actually ride.
We've never seen them. Yeah, the Aces and Eights, they used to have.
They had motorcycles at the very least.
They had motorcycles. Yeah, they actually.
They all rode them. I mean, I don't know if it was those guys actually riding them, but it doesn't matter. This was the name makes no sense for them. They don't do any riding except the pickup truck. And obviously, they just keep working with these guys that I don't think anybody really cares about. I'm sorry, like Kyle Fletcher. I mean, yeah, Mark Briscoe's a really tremendous wrestler. Everybody knows his history, Ring of Honor, tag team wrestling, all of that stuff. He is great, but he's not really been used that great here in AEW for the longest time. And then the topper, they're announcing that this guy that's supposedly like invading or trying to run the company is seizing the superstation. Like that's like an announcement. Like they know it's coming and they're advertising it as something that's happening. Like,
yeah, it's like an NWO storyline. That sounds like they're going to take over the whole show or what the fuck.
But they wouldn't say that. Like they wouldn't. WCW, they wouldn't.
Well,
say,
they gotta say
join us next week. NWO is gonna take over our show. Join us when they.
Well, they gotta say something's gonna happen because if they don't, no one's watching. Obviously, like 500, they only got 500,000 people to watch this week, so no one's watching the show. They gotta tell them something's gonna happen, or else no one's gonna fucking tune in. That's the issue.
This makes no sense. But this one makes no sense. Why would you? How could they? So they're fine with them taking over the network or the show or whatever that means, right? I guess because they don't seem to care. But I don't understand that. So overall, this whole thing is just going down the drain. It's not a group that really makes sense as an invasion angle. Like I said from the beginning, like it doesn't make sense. All these guys have been here, Mox did pretty much from the beginning. So what their complaints are and what they want doesn't really make any sense. And they're feuding with like all these guys that are in the mid card. Okay, I won't use jobbers because don't want to offend anyone.
I mean, they're technically jobbers in AEW. All these guys are names. Like Orange Cassidy is a name. He's a former international champion and all that. He's a tough guy on this show. He's a tough guy. But
I mean, I admit, yes, I think the Darby is kind of. I'm going to ignore what you said about Orange Cassidy completely because that's ridiculous. He's a tough guy.
Well, look. Irregardless of that, I also think it's weird that these guys, Death Riders, keep getting run off. Like every episode, they're getting, basically they're in a brawl, and then a bunch of people come, too many for them to handle, and they run away. It's, NWO, when they had only 4 guys or 3 guys, Hall and Nash and Hogan, you could send the whole locker room at them, and they would fight them all off. So these guys are not really that strong. They're just Pac and Claudio and Wheeler Yuta, dude. So that's an issue. So
it's definitely an issue.
All right, Robert. I know you didn't see any of this, but I gave you some summary of it. I don't know if you have any comments, you're welcome. And I'm gonna move back to SmackDown after we're done with this. So the floor is yours for a minute.
Okay. Well, I didn't watch Dynamite, so I don't have much to say except about this Moxley seizing this superstation this coming Dynamite.
Yes. Live this Wednesday, Bridgeport, Connecticut.
All right, I'll just say this much. I hope something gets revealed, right, about, what's really going on here and not just them interfering in matches and then getting run off like that. That's starting to feel repetitive at this point. Like there's gotta be some sort of plot twist that happens is all I'm saying. Hopefully we'll get that, but I don't know.
And what about the name Death Riders? What do you
you like Death Riders?
You like Death Riders as a wrestler?
No.
Do these guys look like Death Riders too?
It's better than Blackpool Combat Club. Like that was awful. I hated that name.
I agree with that too.
Yeah, I'm down with Death Riders, but I don't think there's going to be any reveal, Robert. I don't know what you're thinking of. Like they used to say Shane O'Mac was going to be the guy behind this whole thing, but that rumor has gone. I think it's already been revealed. Moxley says, "You work for me now." This is basically him trying to take over this company as best as he can. he's not really doing it that good. But
I thought he hinted at something else, but okay.
He did. He did. Numerous times he hinted at something beyond what anybody else can comprehend.
All right, well, moving along, and move back to WWE. That's it for AEW talk for the week. Thank you for coming, AEW. So I'm going to move on to something.
It takes a lot out of me.
That was a little controversial in our ratings. So this is Smackdown. It's basically just a little segment where Nick Aldis had a big announcement, and he's going to reveal the new Women's United States Championship title belt. So ratings for this angle, I'll call it, on SmackDown. Me and Vlad gave a thumbs down. I think we're horrified at the prospect of a new title. It was already enough. And Robert was the only one who was kind enough not to give this a thumbs down. He gave it an indifferent. So he says, I don't care if they have another title, I guess.
Which is probably correct. Correct.
Well, let me start with Robert, Vlad. You go first, Robert.
Okay, I mean, you already said it for me. I don't care. That's it. I mean, there's not much.
All right, Vlad, what do you think?
Oh, the floor is mine.
Yeah.
Thanks for that long soliloquy, Robert. You got it. What a monologue.
You don't care that's going to waste more of your time. You know, SmackDown is moving to 3 hours, right? So they've got to have
that. For real?
SmackDown, I think, starting next year when Netflix
in the new year?
When Raw is on Netflix. Yeah, USA want a 3-hour show, so they're going to get SmackDown.
So does that mean Raw is going to be 3 hours and SmackDown is going to be 3 hours?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh
basically.
My god!
I just need NXT to be 3 hours too. Then I'm set.
I'm good with NXT being 2 hours.
Oh my god, that's so awful. That's the most. Okay, but anyways, about this, I mean, obviously,
yes,
it's just not good. Well, do they really need a women's U.S. champion? I mean, it's.
How about a women's intercontinental champion? Remember that segment we did where we were thinking of like titles to eliminate and stuff, and then I made a joke and I was like, I'm gonna add these titles, and I never thought of a women's United States title.
No, you're not thinking like WWE, man. You gotta think. I don't even know what. But no,
well, look.
Do they have a roster deep enough, like with these women, that they feel that there's someone that could just have this belt and be like Naomi, a great secondary champion?
Bailey.
I mean, sure, but will they have like usually? Look, I don't want. I mean, outside of like the stuff with Liv and most of the women's stuff. I mean, I don't want to sound sexist, but a lot of it is just not very good. I mean, I just have to be honest with you. It's just not. It's not exciting segments. They're not exciting angles. They're not exciting feuds. And I'm not saying that these guys can't wrestle. I think a lot of them very well could. Bailey, like I said, Naomi's not bad. A lot of them can, but they're just not involved in anything of interest. So, like, why add another secondary championship? It's kind of confusing to me. I don't really understand it.
Yeah, and for the women, they already have 2 world titles, which is debatable in itself. So
that's another champion.
Yeah.
So are they going to make is then Adam Pearce going to announce women's intercontinental champion for Raw? Probably. Right?
The way I understand it, this title is going to be on both brands, but also the only way I can make a little sense of this, Robert, is that. Sorry.
Go ahead.
All right, I'll go first. I was going to say that there's a big crop of younger girls coming up that are actually pretty good, and they're going to be on the main roster. Like Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, what's her name? Zarya, even I would say Jaida Parker and Lola Vice, and Kalani Jordan. So there's going to be a lot of women's wrestlers coming up soon. So what did you want to say, Robert? You go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I remember when I watched this segment, the first thing on my mind was like, I think I was thinking, boy, Kahan and Vlad are gonna hate this. that was the first thing that came to my mind.
Well, I didn't hate it. I didn't say 2 thumbs down. I said I didn't like it. So I don't like this.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's especially funny when you think about the fact that we had this whole segment of like what belts we would keep, what belts we would get rid of, and we basically wanted to I wanted to get rid of almost everything. I never wanted to add anything, so now they're adding titles.
Yeah. No, we did
a
definitely
women's
felt
title.
we definitely felt like they had to cut something out, not add titles. So that's
Yeah.
they're going in the wrong
They're
direction.
going
here.
the opposite direction now.
All right, it's cool though. Whatever, I'm fine with it. Let's move on. What else do I have? Okay, more weird, crazy, like old style bad wrestling, I guess, if you want to call it. Some people would say this is straight out of, I don't know, what people when they think of bad wrestling, they go WCW 1999 or 2000, right?
2000.
So
yeah.
would this be like a segment out of that? This is well, okay, it started with the New Day. They were backstage getting interviewed, and they were arguing with each other at each other's throats because they're maybe about to break up, and then the video went out. So basically a VHS tape came up, and it was from the Wyatt Six, and it's the Miz in a mask, and he's being held captive by the Wyatt Six. They've kidnapped him. All right. So before the one, still, this was like a split second. This was a very old clip of Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, and Kurt Hennig's kid. I guess they used to be in the Miz's stable a long time ago. So this had they were the Miz Taraj from. I don't remember this, but
I don't remember
You looked this up. You found, how would anyone know something like this?
Yeah, well, I mean, it could be a reason that they fucking kidnapped him. But yeah, basically the Miz was here and he's trying to talk his way out of it. He's like, hey, I'm not with Final Testament, like I'm not with them. I'll let this go. Just let me go. And then Bo Dallas is like laughing in his ear. He's like, we're not looking for Final Testament. We're looking for you, Miz. The fucker. And then Miz just has this like horribly depressed look on his face. Like, God damn it, man. And then they cover his mouth again with the tape. And then at the last second, Dexter Loomis in his crazy mask. Did I not save that? There it is. Snuck up behind him and scared the shit out of the audience and everybody at home, the 1.4 million people watching Raw this week. So, all right, ratings for this. Let's see. Vlad, I remember your comment on the YouTube post. You said this was actually kind of funny, so you gave it a half thumbs up. You gave it an Orange Cassidy. You kind of liked it, I guess. Probably because of the Miz's acting, but I'll get some comments from you. Robert, also a half thumbs up, so something about it that you kind of liked. Me, full on thumbs up. This is wrestling, baby. I mean, I don't remember a hostage angle since Aces and Eights captured Hulk Hogan and Sting on TNA. So, I mean, there might have been some since.
Probably have been.
I don't know.
There must be, dude. People get kidnapped all the time. Didn't AEW have like multiple people getting like on multiple shows? I don't know. I obviously don't have it written down in the record books, but I'm sure AEW has had multiple kidnappings. I want to say
AEW has had kidnappings. I don't remember one, but if anybody remembers one, please put it in the comments below. But I'll try to look that up. But okay, who should I start with here? Let's start with Robert, because there was a stretch where he wasn't involved in the AEW talk. So you go first. What do you think about this Miz segment?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe this is unintentional comedy because of Mrs. acting. This made me laugh just like the Mercedes Moné segment did. So I don't know. It was hilarious, especially the look on Mrs. face. It just cracked me up. Well, one thing I will add is I think this would have been more fitting to air on the episode right before Halloween, because the tone of this video would have been perfect for it. But I mean, I dug it. Not that much, but enough to give it at least a half thumbs up, mostly because of the Miz's acting and his face.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with you there. The Miz has been spot on to me, whatever they've been asking him to do in recent memory, to be honest. Like, I have not had much problems with The Miz. I used to have a problem with The Miz when they were trying to push him as world champion and giving him a lot of time to talk and doing that, like, annoying long promo thing. But anyways, I see Vlad is a little distracted. You all right there, Vlad?
I got the dog here, so I usually it's the same issue that you have. he climbed into my room and he wants to play, I guess. But anyway,
put him on the camera. Let's see him.
Max, you want to be seen? Maxie, come here. Come here, baby. Let's see if you can see him here.
Oh,
Let me get closer.
We sort of see him, but it's okay. Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he is. He keeps moving his head.
Yeah, he kind of disappears, but it's okay. All right, Vlad.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why the green screen is cutting him out, but
he's angry. He's angry that I picked him up. The dog gets angry. Anyways,
this fool. All right,
give me a second. Let me release him. Hold on. Go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I know that was ruined the flow of the show, but that's okay.
It's all good. No dog will ever ruin the flow of anything. These dogs,
he's adorable. He's a great dog. But he loves to play around and stuff like that. Anyways, the segment, obviously, I give it a half thumbs up. It was silly. It was, how much I do not like the Wyatt Six or whatever they're called. Is that the name of the group? Yeah, that sounds right. But the Miz with the look on his face here, specifically in the screenshot that you saved, and just the overall silliness of him being kidnapped, and that they don't even care about the Final Testament. They care about the Miz because of something that happened, like, what was that, 15 years ago? It's just
something like that.
Yeah, it was just dumb, obviously, but it was a funny
it's good. That's good. This is great long-term storytelling. But what about the logic, Vlad? You want to point out the logical flaws? That's usually your job here. I mean, he's freaking kidnapped, for freak's sake. Is anyone gonna go find him? Is anyone gonna file a police report or something? And
find the Miz? Like, no, and also, you're happy he's gone.
No, and also nobody gave a damn. Like, none of the commentators or Michael Cole, or it was Michael Cole and Corey Graves. There was no Joe Tessitore on this show. But yeah, they mentioned it. They're like, we don't know what the fuck happened, but that wasn't us. It wasn't our video. It was
probably just Tessitore doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia, which I can't blame him. But anyways, but no, I was going to say that, yes, they didn't seem to care after they came back. They were like, the Miz had been kidnapped and somebody should probably call the police.
The former WWE champion. Nobody gives a damn about him.
Kidnapped by these 6 crazy psychos that are supposed to be like, in their debut, kill people, basically, right?
Are they really 6?
No, they're 5.
They're 5.
There's 5 of them, Vlad.
There's 5 of them. I don't know why they're called... Why it's 6, but okay.
Well, some people think there's going to be a reveal of somebody else eventually, but I don't know. But I just think there's 6, like they're sickos. The 6.
Oh, but something sick. Maybe they're the Wyatt sick, but they don't. But that doesn't sound as good, right?
There's a 6. Well, there's sick people. There's multiple 6. That's how I always thought of it. I don't know.
You're giving me a headache. I don't even know what you just said.
Well, they never explained it either, but okay. Anyways. Moving along from the Miz. One last thing. Last topic of the day. I know we're an hour and 18 minutes in. So one last topic. I'm going on to ECW, baby.
Yeah.
No, it's not ECW. It's NXT. But they were at ECW Arena for a hardcore match between Jaida Parker and Lola Vice with Dawn Marie as the special referee. Here's Lola Vice, and here's Jaida Parker. Robert, you did mention that Dawn Marie still looks basically the same in the text.
Not the same, but she looks really good.
She looks good.
Doesn't look much different to me. I don't know. She's one of the Shelton Benjamin types. Never ages. She never ages. Never ages. But okay, so me and Robert, we were looking forward to this match. This has been a long-standing, heated feud. I suggested they should do this inside Hell in a Cell. Instead, it was just a hardcore match at ECW Arena as Vlad walks out of the show.
Leave it. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Well, Vlad doesn't watch NXT. For our viewers out there, Vlad decided not to follow NXT.
I want to say something. I tried to watch a little bit of this, and then I saw a 70-year-old Nunzio with his skinny-looking... So it looks like a twig at this point. He's like 7 years old, and he's out there wrestling. I'm like, okay, dude, I understand this is like a kind of an ECW themed show, and Nunzio used to be an ECW and whatnot, but come on, man. This was This looked ridiculous. This whole show looked ridiculous.
Well, I'll get to that in a minute. You could comment on that in a minute. But let me
let's talk about this match, because I didn't see this, so go ahead.
Let me stick with the Lola Vice, Jaida Parker stuff. So these guys have had a really blood feud, and they had a hardcore match. They brought out all the weapons and everything. Everything was there. But I'm going to jump to the finish. Robert, Lola Vice had Jaida in like a sleeper hold or something, and there was a brick right next to them. Very, very fortuitous for Jaida Parker, who ended up grabbing it and fucking smashing Lola Vice on the head with it. It looked pretty rough. Like she fucking whacked her. It looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking broke it and everything. I think Lola had it looked like something red on her nose or some shit. I don't know. But they gimmicked that well. I don't know. If that was a gimmick, it looked fucking good. Because honestly, it looked fantastic. Like, I'm not even doing it. I'm playing it in slow motion, and it looks like she fucking whacked her. But that was not the finish, Vlad. She kicked out.
Oh no! Oh, she got a brick.
She kicked out of that. Yes.
Oh. What was the finish? This is that
the finish. Well, that was almost the finish.
No. Now you have to show me the finish, because
the finish is
top that.
Jada's finishing move. I don't know what her move is. I think she ran the ropes a couple times, and I think.
I'm already getting nervous.
What is her move? She ran the ropes 3 times. I don't know what it's called.
Why is she running the ropes like that? Okay.
I don't know. It looks like an elbow to the face, or something.
That finished the match, but not the brick to the face. That can kill someone, literally, in reality.
The brick to the face took most of her energy out of her, but yes, Jaida Parker goes over. That's what I was going to ask Robert about. So Rob, well, let's do the ratings first. Okay. Robert gave this a thumbs up, so Robert liked it, gave it a good rating. I gave it a half thumbs up. I don't know. I think I was very interested in this match. I kind of liked it. I might have been expecting more, I guess. I don't know. I think once you break out all them hardcore weapons and stuff, it starts to become weird. But Jaida Parker, the booking, that's the interesting part. Did you think that was right? I mean, Shawn Michaels actually probably chose who went over here, so blow-off match, Jaida Parker's the winner. You agree with that?
I like both of them, so it didn't matter to me who ended up winning. I think they're both of them are on the rise still, so the result didn't matter. But
yeah, I guess she got hit with a brick, so it's not a bad loss.
Her stock, Lola Vice's stock doesn't go down that badly from this loss.
Okay.
The one issue I had was it was towards the end, like right before the brick sequence, where Lola Vice was like setting up a ladder on the corner. She took so long setting it up, and she just it looked like she was like stretching her legs while she was at it. And I don't know what the heck was going on at that time, but it was towards the end. It was like right before the brick sequence. And then
I can't find it, but it's okay. All right.
But yeah, so that part was weird to me. That part kind of killed it for me. But otherwise, I enjoyed this match, and it was good to see Dawn Marie again.
All right. Well,
can I just ask, just real quick, who's the heel? Was Lola Vice the face? Who's the face?
Lola Vice was the face. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, got it. That makes sense. At the very least.
Yes. All right. Well, let me move on. I'm done with the show. Okay. So good job, guys. Thank you very much for being on. I got honorable mentions though, a couple of them. So I think the first one comes from NXT. So we're staying on NXT. It's Javon Evans and Wes Lee. So they had a match which involved Rob Van Dam. Robert or Vlad, I don't know if you know this. You didn't see this, but RVD was in the angle, and they had a backstage thing where Wes Lee beat him up as he was trying to get him out of the way so he's not involved. You know what I mean? And then he went out for his match with Javon Evans, and this is my crazy spot of the week. Last week I had botch of the week, but this week I had the crazy spot of the week. So watch this, Vlad. Here's Javon Evans going through the ropes after Wes Lee, who's by the announce table.
To get out of the ring. Oh, whoa. Evans looking to fly!
So there you go. He fucking flew through the ring ropes. He's trying to get at Wesley, and I'll put it in slow motion this time. And he flies over Wesley and into, like, over the announce table. This guy looks like he could be a fucking basketball player and do a slam dunk. And flew all the way over the announce table. I don't know if I've ever seen that. But that was fucking nuts. Anyways, the finish of the match was that Wesley was going to use the steel chair, and Rob Van Dam's music hit. So even after getting beat up, he just hit that pipe and came back out, and that was enough of a distraction to...
You're absolutely right. Exactly what he did.
I mean, it must...
Make sure it's clear. It's not the crack pipe.
Yeah, weed pipe. Weed
Well, yeah. I mean, everybody knows. Yes. I know. Everybody knows RVD's history and love of weed.
All right, so yeah, it was the ECW night, as we mentioned earlier, so that was another guy. Rhino also showed up. I didn't like the Rhino segment. And then, the Nunzio one. That was my other honorable mention. Vlad, you watched this and you saw Nunzio and you changed the channel. Are you kidding me? Anyways, Nunzio and Tony Mamaluke, they found Tony D'Angelo and the family while they were out buying ice cream. And they said, Nunzio told him that you disrespected me by not calling me back, because he called him last week and he never got a call back. So because of that, he used his stroke to get a North American title shot. So yeah, I was tripping out. I was like, what the fuck? Nunzio's out here with a North American title shot in 2024 on NXT. He's out here kissing guys and everything. Come on, Vlad. How could you not like this? I thought Nunzio was the best guest star out of all the old ECW guys. I didn't really like Bully Ray's segment. Bully Ray, he was all right. I know it didn't really. Devon was there too, Vlad.
Devon, yeah.
Bully Ray and Devon. So yeah, this was Nunzio's, like, one of his spots off the top rope. Like, for an older guy, that's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? But yes, so this was the ending though. He took a slam off of Tony D'Angelo, and that was it. I mean, I thought it was a well-worked match for an old guy, Robert, right? I mean, what did you think?
Bad.
We both gave it a thumbs up, and then they gave mutual respect at the end. I thought it was cool. I actually thought it was nice, Vlad. I thought it was nice that Tony D'Angelo helped Nunzio work a match that looked kind of realistic and decent, and give him, like, one last spot on a WWE show that was pretty good. So
I guess, but I mean, I don't know, it's just kind of weird.
Sentimentally, it was a well-worked match, Robert. I mean, it all made sense. None of it seemed weird and out of place, I think. I mean, he got a couple shots in, he tried, and then he lost. So that was that.
I guess it all makes sense when somebody named Tony Mamaluke is involved, but okay, whatever. I throw my hands in it. I'm not involved in this.
It was a one-time thing. But my last honorable mention
go ahead.
comes from TNA. So I'm also gonna accompany this with an announcement. But this was the X-Division title. It was Speedball Mike Bailey against Moose. So for the X-Division title, this storyline has happened a few times before, where a heavyweight will come down and, challenge an X-Division guy. And the X-Division guys, they have to go for it, because we all know, the X-Division is not about weight limits, Vlad. It's about no limits. So here is Mike Bailey taking on Moose. And it was a good match. It was my match of the week, actually. My match of the week. Like, it was like a 20-minute match, but good, well-worked match, hard-fought match. Mike Bailey didn't want to lose, but in the end, he did. He lost the X-Division title to Moose. Moose is your new X-Division champion. So there's a look on his face. And afterward, I mean, the commentators did a great job catching me up on Mike Bailey's relationship with this guy, Trent Seven. But Trent Seven did end up turning on him on this night. So for all you Speedball Mountain fans out there, Speedball Mountain is dead. And then he for some reason, it was so dramatic to Trent Seven that he ended up holding this position for, like, I think a minute. He's just sitting there, like, dejected that I had to do this, but he's got his arm on his balls. So my announcement, Vlad, is that
Then you can stop reviewing TNA, please, for the life of, please, God.
my announcement is that I actually like TNA, and I want to review TNA from now on. So I think I'm gonna roll with it, and we're all the way to 500 subscribers here, Vlad. As you know, we're at 404, which is great. It's amazing. It's it's like it's more than I could ever expect. I didn't expect this when I started out. So the fact that we're getting to 500, it's going to be an accomplishment. And for YouTubers, there's perks you get and stuff like that. But I need more watch hours, so that's the issue. So we're gonna hit the 500 subscribers, but I need a little more watch time. So I'm thinking if I add a weekly little TNA review, I'm gonna try to start that up starting next week. So I'm gonna watch TNA, and then during the week I'll do This Week in TNA. I guess that'll be separate from our This Week in WWE and AEW. So you guys don't have to be in.
Oh no, I'm not being involved. I'm definitely.
You guys don't have to be involved in that, but I want to do it. I look. Let me just say one more thing.
Sure, go ahead.
Before, so I started watching wrestling again because of TNA. So when WCW died in 2001, I stopped watching wrestling. I just moved on with my life. I did other things, and then, which a lot of TNA fans say is a dark day, the day Hogan came, which I agree with. Now that I know the history, it wasn't a good day. But it did get me and Vlad interested enough to watch wrestling again. So for a couple years, like 2010, 11, and 12, we watched TNA until it all fell apart. And I don't know, a part of me says like I should have never left TNA, but no, it was bad. When Dixie Carter and everything fell apart, TNA got pretty bad. We couldn't watch with it. But I've been watching it for a month now, and honestly, I like it. I think it's a wrestling show that I dig. So I want to start reviewing it, at least for the time being. So I'm going to try it out. We're going to see how that goes. But all right, Vlad, what did you want to say about TNA?
I just want to say, you watched this specific show with a guy named Speedball, and the crotch shot that doesn't end. And this made you want to review the show on a weekly basis, separate to the podcast that we do. It wasn't this specific one. No, this was a good match. I thought it was an excellent match. The Mike Bailey Moose match. It's in the whole match. I'm gonna put a link to it in the description below. It's part of our reviews, but I put a video up there if you guys really need to see it. I thought it was an excellent match, but no, it definitely wasn't that. I'm telling you, if you watch my show, I'll review. I'll go over the angles that I really like, and there's more than this. There's the system. There's Santana. Recently, has been doing really well. Joe Hendry, Nick Nemeth.
Oh, you said Joe Hendry's name?
Yeah, I know.
He's got to appear now.
Hopefully, he doesn't appear, but I don't fucking want to see Joe Hendry. I'm not as big a fan of Joe Hendry. But this past week, he had a good segment. So Joe Hendry's hit or miss for me. But overall, I think it's a well-written show. I think it's a well-booked show, and I'm gonna give it a shot.
Do you like it more than AEW, or like you say, do you think it's a better wrestling show than AEW?
It's a better wrestling show than AEW. It's a better booked wrestling show than AEW. Yes, if the TNA bookers were in charge of AEW with all the talent AEW has, it would be a much better show. It would be a much more cohesive show, and dude, they do things that they're consistent. Like they go with the storyline, and they're like, okay, this makes sense. There was this last week, so now we're having this. I'm like, wow, this is great. Okay, cool. There's not just random ass shit that pop up. You know what I mean? So overall, the show has impressed me with a month of watching enough to be like, you know what? I want to keep watching this. So I'm with TNA now, basically. That's the announcement. But anyways, so that's
fantastic.
Yeah, I know. That doesn't have much to do with you guys, but I do want the watch hours. So hopefully, maybe I'm gonna try to get some people in on TNA and maybe explain it more than like to people who haven't been watching. Maybe explain the details of the angles and what's been going on. So if you want to join in on that, please subscribe, hit like. All right, and we're trying to get to 500, so we're almost there. We appreciate anybody who watches and has given us a subscription. It means a lot to us. So, all right, if anyone else has any other honorable mentions or things from this past week, that you want to mention. I know we didn't go through every angle, but if there's an angle that we missed that someone out there really wants to know what we thought of, you could go to our YouTube posts and we review every angle like that. You know, just basically thumbs up, thumbs down, maybe a comment here or there. Everything. Literally every show on American television. But for the purposes of this podcast, I chose 9 angles today and a couple of honorable mentions. I think that's fine, unless there's something you guys can think of. I know we didn't talk about like MJF. I skipped that this week. We didn't talk about you know, Bianca and Jade maybe breaking up. That was an angle that I omitted, but you know, that was not bad. But what do you guys think? You guys have any thoughts, or are we closing up for the night?
Yeah, I can't really think of anything that really warrants.
But you probably just want to go to sleep.
That sounds like the best angle.
All right, guys, you're right. It's 11:15 at night. I'm gonna put the show out by morning. I appreciate you being on. Thank you so much, and that's that.
Some tales can be beat. Join the crew, take your seat. Welcome to the wrestle heat. Our first one, time to fly. Stories don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. The smoke's always high. Fights and myths always say. Heroes rise, villains sway. In the ring, night and day. Wrestling talk, come and stay. Now the birds fly, time to fly. Stories don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. The smoke's always high. Crash and cheer, all the news you wanna hear. Wealth and fame always near. With the crew, have no fear. Now the birds fly, time to fly. Stories don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. The smoke's always high. Don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. The smoke's always high.